Welcome to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, founder and CEO of Academia.edu, and I'm really happy you're joining me today as we take a curious dive into some recent academic work. Remember, I'm presenting this research neutrally, as always. My goal is to break it down in a friendly way so you can absorb the core ideas and, well, see what you think. So the focus today is a recent paper by Todd W. Grigsby called Formal Protest Against the Concept of Duality and the Superposition of Light Waves. That's a mouthful, right? But hang with me. This paper raises some striking questions about maybe one of the most foundational ideas in physics. Let's set the stage. Have you ever wondered about the double slit experiment, the one where light behaves like both a wave and a particle, depending how you look at it? It's this mind-bending thing where if you send light through two slits, you get an interference pattern, but try to peek at which slit the light went through and the pattern disappears. Everyone says this is quantum weirdness at its finest. But what causes that weirdness? Why do we talk about waves and particles at the same time? Is superposition, where waves are supposed to just add up like water ripples, really what's happening? The paper's core question is right here. Is it correct to say light superposes like water waves? Or is there something deeper, or, dare I say, something we got wrong over the last century? Why does this matter? Well, I'd put it like this. How we think about light, whether it's a wave, a particle, or some weird in-between, is tied to pretty much everything in quantum mechanics. If a mistake crept in, the consequences would be huge. It could affect, from how we build lasers to our fundamental explanations of the universe. Okay, so let's jump in. Grigsby's main argument is that the idea of superposition, borrowed from water wave experiments, was applied to light in a way that's out of place. He says that light waves, in fact, don't superimpose at all. Instead, they collide or impinge on one another. Kind of like, you ready for this? A bunch of tiny, flexible dumbbells. Seriously, the paper is all about this replacement idea called the impingement theory, where photons, instead of being smooth waves that pass through each other, are these dipole-shaped, dumbbell-like things that can bump, spin, bunch up, or squeeze through slits. Based on their alignments, you actually get two basic types of collisions. One that lets them sort of spin around each other, seeming to pass through, and another where they bunch up and create patterns, like we see in the double slit experiment. And here's the fun part. This dumbbell model is supposed to explain why sometimes light looks like a wave, sometimes a particle. It's all about how these dumbbells interact. Sometimes they align and collide to create that interference pattern, and sometimes they misalign and just pass through each other. So what about superposition? According to Grigsby, the whole superposition business, the idea that light waves can just add up constructively and destructively, like ripples in a pond, is an illusion caused by the collisions of these dipoles at the slit. The interference pattern, he argues, actually forms right at the slit, not on the screen meters away. This means that after that, the strands of light don't interact anymore and just head to the screen on their own. He backs this up by citing edge diffraction experiments, the famous double slit setup with barriers, and some surprisingly simple things you can try at home, like shining a laser pointer at a hair's thin wire and seeing the pattern that emerges. He suggests that these patterns are more about impingements than anything to do with waves adding up. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not endorsing or rejecting this. I just think it's really wild to see someone push so hard against such a foundational idea. The paper's tone is almost a call to arms, saying that physics took a wrong turn and that a new paradigm is needed. Of course, this is one perspective. Physics is full of deep debates, and theories can stand or fall as new experiments come in. What does this mean for you, the listener? Well, first, it's a reminder to take nothing on faith, even if it's taught in textbooks. Ask why things are the way they are. Second, if you're interested in quantum physics or even just the nature of light, this is a chance to dig deeper than the surface and see that, hey, even world-renowned topics like wave-particle duality aren't set in stone. Oh, and actually, speaking of textbooks, I remember once in college, my physics professor confidently drew overlapping sin waves on the board, talking about superposition, but then admitted later, honestly, no one truly knows what a photon is. That stuck with me. Anyway, bit of a random memory. Sorry for the tangent. One last thing. Academic research is about asking questions. Sometimes it overturns what we think we know, but it's never the final word. It's a journey of curiosity. So, whether you think the impingement theory is it or not, I encourage you, let ideas like this inspire you to experiment, to ask, to never stop wondering about what's behind even the most familiar science. I'm Richard Price. Thanks so much for listening to In Depth with Academia, and until next time, keep questioning everything.